Now, welcome to Vidyakar online classes. Today we are going to present before you the previous year questions in a very tabular form for your clarity, because many students I find that they get confused where to start, how to start and how to end. But so what we have tried to do is, then in a tabular form, looking at the pattern of the questions. This year you are going to clear cut mention in the syllabus, this year you are going to get 100 questions. But earlier in 2018 there were 166 questions. So now you are clear that you are going to get 100 questions. Okay? Now for these 100 questions, what are the areas you are going to cover? Because many students, they have completed their post graduation. Some of them have done their MPhil, some of them are engaged in some coaching institute, some of you are working as guest lecturers, but quite a sizable number of students, they are working elsewhere or engaged elsewhere, but they are keen to come back for, they want to appear in the SSB lecturer entrance test. So those who are in touch with the studies, they know what to do and what not to do. But those who are not in touch with their studies, they find it very difficult, and finally immediately they get nervous how to do. So for that, for their benefit particularly, so and others also, we have said, we have done this. This is 2021. Okay. In 2021, the number of questions like unit 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, you have 5 units. So unit 1 is British literature. So unit 1 from 1 to, there were 40 questions from 1 to 40, it was Chaucer to contemporary period. So mostly what is asked? The writer, biographical sketch of the writer. What was when did he first publish his work? What is the pen name? If a writer does have a pen name, what is the pen name of the writer? Which year his major work was published? And based on his works, then important lines from the works. Suppose you have Pope, and suppose you have question comes from Dryden, lines comes from John Donne, lines come from Spencer, Milton. Because it is quite natural, you will be asked questions, because you are doing those things in your honors level as well as in the postgraduate level. Okay? Very common lines are say, unusual lines are saying. Okay? Then important characters, it is characters AC. Okay? Important characters in some of the works of, like Congreve, Dryden, Shakespeare, some important Chaucer, the characters. Then literary terms and literary movements. Okay? Then next let us come to Indian writing in English. So Indian writing in English, for you it is prescribed from 1930 onwards to the contemporary period, because Indian writing in English came of age only after 1930. Previously Toru Dutt, they were all writing, but thing is it had no recognition. So from 1930 onwards, so in Indian writing in English, so Indian writers including poets, novelists and dramatists. Dramatists you find like Girish Karnad, then Mahesh Dattani. So these people, they of late they have come as Vijay Tendulkar. So they have of late they have come, but they do not belong to the 1930s. 1930s you have R.K. Narayan, Mulk Rajanand and Rajarao. So poets, the writers and their works. And their works means what they have written. First kota election thing, when it was published. Next, if and for which work a particular writer shot into prominence. For like example, R.K. Narayan, he shot into prominence with English teacher and the guide. It was adapted into a film and he won the award. So Sahitya Academy Award. Indian writers means you have to find out how many, when they have won the Sahitya Academy Awards. A separate Booker Prize, Man Booker Prize, And Nobel Prize, forget it, very handful of them have got like of Indian origin. One is Rabindranath Tagore, the next one is Indian origin is V.S. Naipaul. But forget about them because this is very common. But how many of them have won the Sahitya Academy Award and when they have won and for which work they have won the Sahitya Academy Award. Okay. Then comes from 51 to 60, these 10 questions, it is an American literature for 1850s to the contemporary period. So, contemporary period of American literature is more important. There again, the writers, their work, awards and literary movements. Writers means poets, novelists and dramatists. Major or minor भी टिके टिके देखिबो because जदि समस्ते major गुड़ा को देखि दी जाउथिबे a question तो सेठी suppose आसिला तो सब पिला qualify करिवे. Understand? So you have to give importance to minor characters also, minor writers also. Then from 61 to 80, these 20 questions from popular literature, post-colonial literature, world literature, literature of diaspora. That means European literature, French, Italian, German, then Norwegian. Then you have post-colonial period means after the Second World War, 1945 onwards, when the British colonialism almost came to an end. Many countries got their independence. That is post-colonial writing, literature, then literature of diaspora. So, literature of diaspora is a significant part because many prominent Indians, they have left the country and they are settled in the United States or in Germany or in the United Kingdom, like Kiran Desai, Jhumpa Lahiri, Amitav Ghosh. So, those write literature of diaspora, their works. Then from 81 to 90, these 10 questions from literary theory and criticism, right from Aristotle to the present. So, you have Aristotle, the classical criticism, then romantic criticism, then you have modern criticism, new criticism, structuralism, post-structuralism, then all these. So, the critical theories of the writers, like theories of new criticism, then you have deconstruction by Jacques Derrida. So, these things, these are the normally questions are coming from there. And what is the primary thing? So, जो critic को धरिबो तार primary कौन थिला? जिनते Aristotle हला poetics. Then Aristotle how he countered Plato when Plato said that poets should be banished from his ideal state, and how Aristotle said no. What is the role of poets? What is the role of imagination? Okay. Then from 91 to 100 you have grammar in context, that is subject verb is very easy. Subject verb agreement, tense pattern, active and passive voice, direct indirect speech, prepositions, modals, phrasal verbs and linking devices and conditional sentences. Okay. Now, let us go to the second one, 2018, because after 2018 you had the exam in 2021, now you are having it in 2023. Okay. Now, from 1 to 33, because in 2018 you had I think 166 questions, from 1 to 33 Chaucer to contemporary period. So, this is cramped. Biographical based on works, true, false, important lines from the poem. It came in that year. From 34 to 50, Indian writing in English based on their works, again true, false. It was full of true, false. A statement, whether the statement is true or false. From 51 to 66, American literature from 1850 to the contemporary period. Writers and their works, their awards, the literary movements, transcendentalism, then like what Eugene O'Neill used, expressionism, all these things came. From 67 to 101, it is popularity. So, importance was given, emphasis was given more on world literature. Popular literature, post-colonial literature, world literature and literature of diaspora. Key figures, writers and their works, true, false, their works, year of publication of their works. From 102 to 134, literary theory and criticism, critical theories of the critics. 135 to 166, grammar in context. Again, there were lots of grammar also. So, subject verb agreement, tense and aspects, active and modal. So, forget. So, these are it came in 2018, but overall what you know is you have to be thorough with the literary movements, you have to be thorough with literary terms, you have to be aware of, because pila manakar very poor knowledge thai criticism pare on literary criticism. Most of the students, they score very less in literary criticism. So, literary criticism re apply your common sense, apply your mind, because most of you have passed the post graduation minimum 4-5 varsha la pass kalani. In these 4-5 years, you have gained in maturity, you have gained in exposure. So, jota 5 varsha purbe buji paru notla ebe buji paribo. Mostly what Derrida thought about deconstruction, what Ferdinand Saussure thought about sign, signifier and signified. Sei gudako tikke bhalare bujibo. Okay. Now, let us come to 2016. Again 40 questions came from British literature. So, same thing, biographical based on works, true, false, important lines from the poem. From 40, so again 10 questions, Indian writing in English, based the writers, their works, the year of publication, all this. Then from 51 to 60, these 10 questions again from American literature, writers and their works, awards and literary movement. From 61 to 70, popular literature, post-colonial literature, you get key figures, the writers, their works and whether the statement is true or false. From 70 to 90, 20 questions, again literary theory and criticism, critical theories of critics. If this area you cover well and you score 100%, get all the questions right, you will score very well, very good, you will get very high scores in the written examination. From 91 to 100, grammar in context, the same grammar is there. Okay. So, if you are thorough, if you are in touch with slightly in touch, because you might be forgetting it, kintu once basigale 10 din bhitar sabu man rahijibo. So, once it comes back to you, ei vere what is ritimat notes karikri, and we have providing questions, test series, Vidyakar test series, and we will show you, we have a WhatsApp number, you can contact us. So, we have for state selection board lecturers in English, we have unit wise given you MCQs, classes, test series, discussing those things. So, you can contact us in a WhatsApp number. These are the two numbers, 80930733340, 80930733341. You can enroll, it is open, you can enroll now, and so you can get access to all the classes, all the study materials. And I am sure if with all seriousness you study, you will crack the written examination. We will help you in cracking the written examination. If you are thorough with these things, in Viva also you will do that.